After 14 years, it's finally possible to play Halo 2 again online on your original Xbox, exactly how it was intended, just like it's 2004. This game is special for a lot of people, and I really do want to do this game justice. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to get this whole thing set up so you can go play, what the Halo 2 experience is like today, and even some stories about why this game is so important for a lot of people.
Perhaps one of the most anticipated console video games of all time.
This is a true entertainment phenomenon.
One of the most highly anticipated games probably ever.
November the 9th, the moment Xbox Nation's been waiting for.
Okay, so how is all of this possible? Well, it's all thanks to a pretty new service made by just a bunch of modders called Insignia, which is a drop-in, one-click install replacement for the original Xbox Live from like 20 years ago. I've been playing around with multiplayer on the original Xbox for like a while now, like a solid year, so by no means is this anything new, but there have been some new developments recently in the scene that I feel like it deserved its own video to go highlight all the new stuff in the service. The amount of games that are supported by Insignia has tripled in size. There are more features that are finally functional again, so things like friend lists and inviting friends across different games now work again. We have access to DLC support for games now, which means that you can install them without having to mod your Xbox anymore. And of course, the big one, yes, Halo 2 is finally supported with voice chats, clans, private lobbies, custom game modes. All of it works exactly how it did back in 2004. And the best part is, it's gotten even easier now to get Insignia up and running. All it needs now is just a flash drive and a little USB adapter, and you're good to go. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of really good multiplayer games that have already been made compatible with Insignia and the Xbox Live. I think the official number now is like 170 games, but we're gonna be talking about specifically Halo 2 today in this video because this is just a really special game. Seriously, if you still have your original Xbox lying around somewhere and you wanna try out the original Xbox Live experience, I'd highly recommend you give this a shot. You're gonna love this thing and it's super easy to set up. When I really love a series, finding the perfect poster of that game or show is the final seal to express how much I really love that series. It's not just a decoration, it's a celebration of how much that game or show has impacted my life. And if you're looking for the best way to express your passion, Display has everything you could ever want. These guys make high quality metal posters with any type of design you would want from your favorite game or TV show or movie, anything you can think of, and deliver them straight to your door. And the print quality on these are beautiful. Like, they are really good looking prints, even when you get really, really close. Best part is, it takes like 60 seconds to mount these things. There's no screws or drilling anything needed, and since it's all metal, it all hangs up with their included magnets. I live in an apartment, so this is really rental friendly for me. Align them up any way you want, or swap them out depending on your mood. They're really easy to put up and swap out. And with over 2 million designs and official prints from pretty much any show or game you can think of, from Marvel to Star Wars to Halo to Cyberpunk, I'm really confident you'll find something that you'll love. They're doing a sale right now, so grab yourself a beautiful print using the link in my description and use the code DAMAGEF to get an even bigger discount at checkout. And thanks to Display for sponsoring this video so we can keep making cool videos like this. So you're gonna need a few things to get this whole thing going. Some are required, but some are just some things that are just gonna make this whole process a little bit easier. First thing, a proper HDMI adapter. Times have changed and most TVs probably don't have that old school red, white, yellow port anymore. Yeah, yes, there are hardwired mods for the Xbox that'll give you a true native one-to-one best possible quality out of your Xbox, but let's be honest, I'm sure you'll have way more important things to do. So your next best thing is a converter. Now, I'm sure you've seen these composite to HDMI converters. Do not use these. These are hot garbage, seriously. Instead, get one of these pound cables. It does just straight up Xbox to HDMI, and it looks good enough for 99% of people. Seriously, it looks way better than anything these crappy adapters can output. Every gameplay segment in this video was recorded using this exact adapter. So if you like the look, I'll leave it in the description if you're interested. Next, you're gonna need an Ethernet cable to connect your Xbox to the internet. Now remember, these things don't have Wi-Fi, so you gotta have another way to hook it up to your router. If you happen to have your desk close to your router, great, just hook it up. But if your router is in another room, you might not want to have a 40-foot Ethernet cable running through your house. Luckily, you can get a really cheap power line adapter instead. Think of these like wireless wired internet. They come in a 2-pack like this. You hook up one of them to the wall and into the Xbox. Then in your other room, you hook it up to your router. And done. No messy cables running through your house anymore. Since the Xbox is pretty old, you can get away with using a really, really cheap one of these. I'll leave a link to a good one in the description. And lastly, if you still happen to have your old Xbox controller intact, great. But if you don't, I won't lie, they are starting to get a little bit harder to find nowadays. So instead of having to settle for a cheapo aftermarket that'll make you feel like you were the second favorite child in the house, why not just use a proper modern day Xbox controller? Yeah, all you need is an adapter to do this. This is the Wingman XB2, which lets you pair any controller you want to your Xbox, completely wirelessly too. Just plug it into a port on your Xbox, hit the pair button on your controller, and you're good to go. And yes, while an Xbox controller is preferred for this, this thing really means any controller. So go ahead, use your PS5 or PS4 controller. I mean, who cares anymore? We're all dying in 30 years.
Say what?
The best part about this is that there's no feature loss while doing this. So vibration and everything still works, and the white and black buttons are assigned to the bumpers, so you don't have any missing buttons. It's a really great little adapter. I'll leave it in the description if you want to pick one up. All right, those are all the nice to haves, but now for the things that you need to have to install Insignia. Fortunately, it's gotten a lot easier to get this running on your Xbox now. Before, you used to have a copy of one of 4 very exploitable games to run a save file on, and it had to be a very specific version of the game, otherwise none of this would work. And if your disk drive was broken, I mean, you were just straight out of luck. It was just a lot. Well, it's gotten a lot easier now. All you need is 2 things: an Xbox USB cable and an old flash drive. Now, big emphasis on the old flash drive here. The Xbox is very picky with flash drives, and anything from the last 15 years will not work. Luckily, I found one that's confirmed 100% to work on the Xbox. Yeah, they come in a 5-pack, but they're still really cheap. You can give one to your friends if you want or something. I don't know. I'll leave a link to these in the description if you want to pick one up. All right, let's go install Insignia. Now, while this does work on stock consoles, if you haven't already, I'd highly recommend modding your Xbox at this point. It literally takes 2 minutes. It lets you do a bunch of more things to your Xbox, like backing up games to your hard drive, using custom themes, and this is not an exaggeration, it will save your Xbox from dying. A lot of this hardware is over 20 years old now. Mine is legally old enough to drink, which means things like your hard drive is probably going to die any day now. Your disk drive is probably going to stop working any day now if it hasn't already, to be honest. In fact, you won't believe what happened as I was filming this video. I think my disk drive just died. There's no way, dude. These things eventually will die, but with a modded Xbox, at the very least, you'll be able to replace these parts in the event that something finally dies. Oh, and you want to know the best part? You already have everything you need to mod it. Yeah, the same USB cable and the flash drive are literally all you need to mod your Xbox, so now you have no excuse. I'm actually planning a whole video of all the cool stuff you can do with a modded Xbox. I'm going to be upgrading it and adding new hard drives and all that stuff. It's a really in-depth video, so if you're into that kind of stuff, maybe subscribe so you won't miss it. Okay, so you got the flash drive and the cable ready. Let me show you how you actually get this going. It's actually a really interesting process. So on your Xbox, you're going to go onto the memory tab, and now let's plug in our flash drive. When you plug it in, you should see a message saying that this drive has been erased. Don't worry, that's what we want. All right, the flash drive is ready to go. Now let's plug it into our computer and load up the exploit. By the way, if it asks you to format it or anything else, don't do that. Just hit cancel. We're going to be using an app called Fat Explorer to mount the drive. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Just scroll down and download the 64-bit version. We're going to hit devices, and bam, there's our drive. We're going to hit load device and mount data partition on X. It really doesn't matter. By the way, if it tells you at this point something about paying for a license, just hit continue free trial. You only need to do this once. I promise you don't need to pay anything for the software. All right, cool. Now our flash drive is being read like a normal drive. From here, we can go grab the Insignia installer from their GitHub. Link in the description. We grab all these files and transfer them over to the drive. And that's it. That's literally all we need. Now, let's plug it back into our Xbox. So you're actually going to laugh at how simple this is now. Click on memory card 1. And if your Xbox freezes, you messed up bad. Everything went wrong. I'm pretty sure Xbox is bricked now. It somehow bricked the PS5 in the other room. I'm just kidding. That's what we want. Just give it a sec. And there you go. The Insignia installer is up and running. How cool is that? Now we just hit register Xbox and you're done. You're ready to go online and connect to Xbox Online. Let's reboot the system and check the connection to see that we're live. Incredible. All right, from here, we can go make an account. Now remember, this isn't using the OG Xbox Live servers. Those were shut down years ago. Your old account is not here. These are new servers, so the good news is you could most likely reclaim your gamer tag. It's all standard stuff, really. You know how to make an account at this point. The only thing you have to check is the subscription code. Go to Insignia's website, type in your email right here, and they'll send you a subscription code that you can type in here. Don't worry, everything is free. The billing info page can just be like a bunch of random info. It's not important. Just set the credit card number to 4 and then just a bunch of 1s. And that's it. You're ready to go. For a lot of people, this is likely the first time they ever get to see this screen. Honestly, find comfort in that. For a long time, I thought I would just never get to experience this, and that was it. So let me show you what happens when you finally launch up Halo 2 20 years later. Right now, it's a Tuesday afternoon when I'm filming this, and there's about 60 people on Halo 2 right now. I know that some smaller communities like doing game nights and populating a single game mode, so we should have plenty of people to play with. You boot it up, and you'll instantly be brought back to that original Halo 2 choir. I just had to let that sink in for a second. Anyways, when you first boot up the game, it'll ask you to sign into Xbox Live, and for the first time in my Xbox's history, it'll actually connect successfully. Now, before you can hop into a match, you will need to have all the map packs to play properly, and honestly, props to the Insignia team. They actually managed to get the DLC downloader working properly, so you don't have to scour the internet to find a way to load these onto your Xbox. Just hit download, and off you go. Now, keep in mind, this does take a while. I was here for about an hour straight, just downloading about 150 megabytes worth of map packs. Once they're all done installing, you can go back to the multiplayer lobby and get started. Sure enough, yeah, clans and friends lists work now, which wasn't possible just a year ago. By the way, I actually do play on this account and I need more friends, so feel free to add me if you want. Sure enough, the lobbies are actually populated. And look, there's even voice chat people here. Yeah, it seems like people were really excited to get Halo 2 running again because I got a chance to try a little bit of everything. I started with some team snipers. I found myself having a really tough time getting used to scoping in this game. I got demolished my first game.
5 minutes remaining.
I got to try some Rumble Pit, which I learned was just fancy talk for free-for-all. And this game mode got hectic, especially in smaller games like Desolation. And I even got to try some 2v2s, and I gotta say, I think this might actually be my favorite game mode. The small map made for a really fun and a really chaotic time. It was really nice to be able to try a little bit of everything, and coming from someone who didn't grow up with Halo 2, this feels crazy different from what I'm used to. I needed a minute to actually get used to how different it felt. Like how there's no sprinting, or how shooting someone is essentially pointless if you're not dead set on aiming for a headshot. Compared to like the jittery, cracked out movement of the newer shooters, this game feels a lot more raw, a lot more bare bones. There's no sprinting, there's no kill streaks, there's no slide running or jumping. Only raw skill involved in proving that you're actually better than everyone in that lobby. When you get a kill, it feels like you really earned that kill, which is really nice. I was hearing some of the voice chats that unfortunately I didn't capture on the recordings, and it just really felt like there was a sense of community here. People were really playing like not a single thing had changed, like it was still 2004. And it was honestly really heartwarming to see. And in a way, I assume that's kind of why so many people are nostalgic about this game, and why it's so popular even this many years later. The feeling of fragging someone after a long back and forth exchange of bullets feels amazing and very, very well deserved. My time with Halo 2 was a very interesting and a very unique experience for sure, but here's the thing. I can tell you all day about how special this game is and how important it was for the industry and how revolutionary it was for the time, but I wasn't there. 2004, I was 6 years old. I was playing Jet Set Radio and Sega GT 2002. I didn't grow up with this game. I didn't get to experience the LAN parties or lining up at midnight to go pick up the game with everyone else and the next day going to school and talking about it with everyone at school. It doesn't matter what I tell you. I wasn't there. So I thought, what better way to find out firsthand what it was really like playing at its peak than just by asking the people who were actually there.
You could like go into matchmaking by yourself and then literally make 3 new friends just through the way it was designed.
Like, it's been 14 years since we were able to play it. It's just, it's like seeing like someone get revived. Salutations, I'm the Vengeful Adam.
Yeah, my name is Punny88.
I go by Scooty Hamster, and I just like playing Halo 2 on Xbox.
I am a Halo YouTuber who has been on the platform for 8 years now.
I own the Halo Classic Hub Discord server. We host game nights for most of the classic Halo games, specifically Halo 2 on Insignia.
I think the game dropped, I was in 10th grade, I want to say. Xbox was Halo 1 at that time. We loved Halo 1 so much because of the LAN parties that we had. Like, there'd be LAN parties like all around town, man. Like, we'd go ride our bikes trying to like, there's always a LAN party in this guy's garage, and we just show up on our bikes and just hope they were Halo. And a lot of times they were. Right when I got my driver's license, I always had a small CRT in my car and like my Xbox in my car. Because like, if you wanted to play Halo 1, you had to have a lot of people. Because if you didn't, it was like, you know, only 5 people are here tonight. So that was great. But like, you know, you were limited to the LAN party. When Halo 2 dropped, it was huge, man, in our school. Like,
there really just wasn't anything like it at the time, especially when it like first released. Like I was in like middle and high school. Like I couldn't pay for my own Xbox Live at the time. Like I had to ask my mom to do it.
It was my 16th birthday, and my parents, gave me their credit card. And I had 2 friends with me, so they brought their controllers over. We were all playing like big screen TV.
We weren't exactly rich growing up. I had one working Xbox, and like I had to beg my dad to buy me the copy of Halo 2. Like, Dad, take us to Game Crazy so we can go get Halo 2, man. And we begged him. He's like, all right, let's go. We'll go get it. And then we show up there, and there's this huge line at Game Crazy.
I got it set up. I called one of my friends. He sent me a friend request. We made a lobby, and we played 3v3s on Beer Creek and a couple other maps. Then we discovered like OptiMatch and then the matchmaking coppers, and that absolutely blew my mind.
It's because of Halo 2 we have matchmaking for one thing. But we also have stuff like in-game friends lists, we have messaging, we have parties that you can make.
Having the integrated features was really mind-blowing and revolutionary for the time. Everything up to that point has been like a server list of all these different game types that you could play. Like getting arranged with somebody across the world, and then having the ability to like, hey, I like playing against that person, or they were a cool person. I want to like add them as a friend and like let's invite them to a game and let's do glitches or do a custom game like that. That was a very new experience.
If you wanted to play Halo 1, you had to have a lot of people, because if you didn't, it was like, only 5 people are here tonight. Halo 2, we have 5 people, we can go online and get a full game, and it was a blast. So
aspects to it that just create an experience that was pretty much unmatched for a while. Like it took until like Gears of War on the 360 for it to really like challenge Halo 2 proper.
You could go into matchmaking by yourself and then literally make 3 new friends just for the way it was designed. And there was really nothing like that at the time.
Personally, like Halo 2 is my favorite menu style in the entire Halo series, and I'm glad that now that we have Insignia, it's being utilized again to its fullest extent. Like you can see like getting messages, you can see someone sending you a friend request or a party invite. Like you couldn't see that for like 13 years.
Insignia has definitely made Halo 2 far more accessible, and with matchmaking being back, once you get Insignia set up on your Xbox, really easy. Like a little dongle, a USB, it's like $10.
Like any OG Xbox can work with it, and there are tutorials online. You don't even have to mod it anymore; it just works.
A few people I've ran into on Insignia that I like still kind of play with when I see them on. It's like, hey, dude, we played together a couple weeks ago, and it's always fun, running into people from like other Discord servers, like in a game, and then you gotta hop into their Discord and go talk shit to them. I've always felt Halo, Halo 1 and Halo 2 just I think Bungie really took a lot of time making those games feel very tight.
Like it's got like great weapons that are amazing to use, great vehicles, and some of the best maps in FPS history. You have Lockout, Relic, Midship, Containment, which is my favorite BTV map, Zanzibar, like just all these really amazing maps.
I love the geometry of it, the layouts, the weapon balancing. Like
a lot of modern shooters, to me, they feel kind of clumsy. Because I try to play like modern COD, and I just get whooped. And it was kind of fun, but like Jesus, it never ends with like the notifications. And it's very simple, it's very simple, it's very direct. You get in a game, you play it. I got enough things distracting me, and it's a very simple core game experience that I really like. And I'm still friends with like the guys I played Halo in high school with. That's why I've collected all these Xboxes, so that at any given time I can just be like, hey man, I got 10 Xboxes. You guys want to play some Halo 2? And like without missing, people are like, what? Like, heck yeah, I want to play some Halo 2.
So when I first got my Xbox, living at my parents, like I was a sophomore in high school. So, just a lot more free time.
We'd run around during the day, just do our teenager stuff. And then at night, we'd revert back to someone's house and play Halo 2 together, One of our buddies started to host like a little LAN party at his house. His mom like bought us pizza. I think they expected like 10 to 12 people to show up, and there's probably about 30 fucking people showed up. Yeah, his living room was freaking just packed with us, man. And with TVs everywhere, it was great. Now I'm 35, I got a career, man. I got a house, wife and a kid.
Nowadays, I'm married, 2 dogs, house.
I guess it brings me back, makes me forget about all the stresses of adult life.
It's fun to, go back and experience Halo 2 in its purest form.
The game itself hasn't changed, just kind of like the environment around it.
Halo 2 is always going to be fun to me. It's one of those games where I could be by myself and just walk around the map.
It got me through middle school. I made so many new friends.
I still, message a couple of my buddies like, you guys want to do some Halo 2 this weekend or something? Drink some beer? And that's what it always was for me, man. Like that's what always got us together.
I just always come to this game whenever I need to feel happy,
These guys I interviewed were from a group of people who manage and hang out in a group called the Halo Classic Hub. They are incredibly dedicated to this series, and you can just tell that they have a lot of passion for this game. If they said anything that might have connected with you and you want to try this out again for yourself, I definitely recommend checking out the Halo Classic Hub Discord. They have tons of different Halo events every single week, and I'm sure they would love to have you there. I really hope I did this game justice with this video. I love hearing stories like this about this game, and if you have a story like this too, I'd love to hear it. Leave it in the comments. I promise I read all of these comments. Anyways, click over here to check out another video, and thank you for watching.